Dreams are not accidental thoughts or emotional wishes that appear without meaning. They are signals that something greater is calling you forward. A dream is proof that there is a future dimension of your life already speaking to you, even if your present reality does not yet agree. Many people think dreams are products of imagination, but in truth, imagination is a doorway through which purpose reveals itself. If you did not have the capacity to become more, you would not be given the ability to see more. Every genuine dream carries within it a message about your potential and an invitation to rise beyond limitation. There is a difference between ambition and destiny-inspired dreaming. Ambition often seeks personal comfort, recognition, or validation. But destiny-driven dreams are bigger than the individual. They stretch you, challenge your character, and demand growth. That discomfort is not a sign that the dream is wrong. It is evidence that the dream is pulling you into a higher version of yourself. When a dream refuses to leave your heart, when it returns again and again despite opposition and delay, it is often because it is connected to the reason you exist. Many people live below their true capacity because they interpret their current circumstances as a verdict on their future. But dreams do not consult your background, your past failures, or your present resources before showing up. They arrive ahead of time, often when you are least qualified to announce what is possible. If dreams only came when everything was ready, they would not require faith. The fact that your dream seems larger than your ability is intentional. It forces you to grow, to learn, and to depend on wisdom beyond yourself. Dreams also reveal the direction of your life. They act as internal compasses, guiding your decisions and shaping your priorities. Without dreams, people drift. They become busy but unfulfilled, active but empty. A life without vision slowly loses meaning because movement without direction leads to exhaustion. When you understand that your dream is a signal of where you are meant to go, you begin to evaluate your choices differently. You stop asking only what is easy and start asking what aligns with your future. It is important to protect your dreams because not everyone can interpret them correctly. Some people will call your dream unrealistic because they are measuring it with their limitations. Others will discourage you because your growth threatens their comfort. But a dream is not validated by public opinion. It is validated by purpose. You must learn to honor what has been entrusted to you. What you consistently see inwardly will eventually demand expression outwardly. When you embrace your dreams as divine signals of capacity, you stop seeing yourself as ordinary. You realize that your life carries responsibility. Your dream is not only about you, it is about the lives your obedience will impact. That understanding gives meaning to sacrifice, patience to waiting, and strength to endure. Dreams are previews of coming realities. When you dare to believe them, you begin the journey toward becoming who you were always meant to be. Small thinking is one of the most subtle enemies of destiny. It does not always announce itself loudly, and it does not always come as negativity. Often it comes disguised as caution, logic, or humility. But in reality, small thinking quietly convinces people to reduce their expectations, lower their vision, and settle for what is manageable instead of what is meaningful. When a person refuses to dream big, they are not protecting themselves. They are limiting the scope of their future. Destiny does not unfold in small dimensions. It requires space, courage, and vision to breathe. To dare to dream big is to align your thinking with purpose. Your life was designed with intention, and purpose is never revealed fully to a mind that fears expansion. Big dreams challenge the boundaries you have unconsciously accepted. They force you to question inherited beliefs, cultural limitations, and internal narratives that say, this is as far as you can go. Many people have not failed in life. They have simply never allowed themselves to imagine beyond what they were told was possible. When you dream big, you give your destiny permission to speak louder than your environment. Small thinking produces small results because it influences decision making. When your vision is small, your actions become conservative, your risks become minimal, and your effort becomes conditional. You only move when success feels guaranteed. But greatness does not respond to certainty. It responds to faith and boldness. Big dreams demand bigger commitments. They require you to invest time, energy, discipline, and resilience into something that may not immediately reward you. This is why many abandon big visions early. Not because the dream is wrong, but because the cost of thinking bigger exposes areas of immaturity and fear. There is also a spiritual dimension to daring to dream big. Purpose operates on levels, and every level demands a corresponding mindset. You cannot fulfill a great assignment with a small identity. When your thinking remains small, you unconsciously reject opportunities that are sent to stretch you. You talk yourself out of rooms you were meant to enter. You decline responsibilities that were designed to prepare you. Big dreams rewire your perception of self. They force you to upgrade how you see your value, your capabilities, and your role in the world. Daring to dream big does not mean ignoring reality. It means refusing to be imprisoned by it. Reality describes where you are, not where you are going. Those who change the world are those who understand that present limitations are temporary, but vision is timeless. When you allow your dreams to be shaped only by what you currently have, you postpone your destiny. But when you allow your dreams to be shaped by purpose, your present begins to rearrange itself gradually to catch up. Big dreams also attract resistance. The moment you decide to think bigger, internal and external opposition arises. Doubt, fear, criticism, and delay begin to test your resolve. But resistance is not proof that you are wrong. It is often confirmation that you are growing. Comfort will never challenge you, but growth always will. The price of significance is the willingness to be uncomfortable for a season. When you dare to dream big, you align yourself with a future that demands transformation. You stop negotiating with small outcomes and begin preparing for lasting impact. Small thinking keeps people busy, but big thinking makes people effective. The size of your dream determines the size of your influence. When you choose to dream big, you choose purpose over safety, growth over comfort, and destiny over limitation. Fear, past failures, and environment are powerful forces that silently work against big dreams. They do not always come as direct opposition. Many times they operate internally, shaping how a person thinks, decides, and responds to opportunity. Fear is often the first enemy you encounter when you attempt to dream beyond your current reality. It whispers questions that sound reasonable, but are designed to paralyze action. What if it does not work? What if you fail again? What if you lose what you already have? These questions are not meant to protect you. They are meant to keep you static. Fear thrives where vision is not confronted with courage. Past failures deepen the grip of fear. When someone has tried before and fallen short, disappointment can harden into an internal narrative that says, "This is not for you." Many people stop dreaming not because they lack potential, but because they are tired of hoping. Failure, when misunderstood, becomes a prison. Instead of being treated as a lesson, it becomes an identity. People begin to define themselves by what went wrong rather than by what is still possible. But failure does not disqualify destiny. It refines it. Every setback carries information, not condemnation. Those who succeed are not those who never failed, but those who refuse to let failure have the final word. Environment also plays a critical role in the death or survival of big dreams. The atmosphere around you can either nourish vision or suffocate it. Constant exposure to negativity, limitation, and disbelief slowly reshapes your expectations. When you are surrounded by people who have settled, who speak only from pain, or who mock ambition, it becomes harder to believe that more is possible. Environment trains the mind. If you remain in spaces that do not challenge your thinking, your dreams will gradually shrink to match your surroundings. One of the dangers of environment is normalization. When struggle becomes normal, greatness begins to feel unrealistic. When mediocrity is celebrated as wisdom, boldness is labeled as pride. Many people never confront their enemies because these enemies feel familiar. Fear becomes a companion. Failure becomes a reference point. Limiting environments become comfortable. But destiny requires separation. You cannot rise into a new future while mentally living in an old one. Overcoming these enemies requires intentional resistance. You must confront fear with action, not logic alone. Courage grows when you move, not when you wait. You must reinterpret your failures, extracting lessons instead of shame. And you must become selective about what and who influences your thinking. Growth demands new conversations, new inputs, and sometimes difficult distance from voices that cannot see beyond their own limitations. Big dreams require a resilient mind. There will always be reasons not to try, memories that try to pull you backward, and environments that resist change. But none of these have ultimate authority over your future. Fear loses power when faced. Failure loses power when reframed. Environment loses power when you decide to rise above it. Your dream is not fragile. It is waiting for your courage. The moment you decide that your future matters more than your fear, your past, or your surroundings, you reclaim authority over your destiny. Big dreams survive in hearts that refuse to surrender to familiar limitations and choose instead to believe that growth is possible. Nothing of lasting value begins fully formed. Every remarkable achievement that now commands admiration once existed only as a thought, a conviction, or a quiet vision in the heart of someone who dared to believe. Before it took shape in the physical world, it first lived in the invisible realm of imagination and faith. This is the law of creation. What is seen is always preceded by what is envisioned. When people look at greatness and assume it happens suddenly, they ignore the unseen season where dreaming, believing, and preparation were taking place. Dreams are the birthplace of all achievement because they define what is possible before resources appear. No builder starts with a finished structure. They start with a plan. In the same way, destiny begins with a picture of the future that has not yet manifested. Without that picture, effort becomes random and energy becomes wasted. Many people work hard, but because they lack a dream, their labor has no clear direction. A dream organizes your focus. It tells your time, your effort, and your sacrifices where to go. History repeatedly proves that progress is driven by people who saw what others could not yet see. They were often misunderstood, resisted, and even ridiculed, not because they were wrong, but because they were early. Vision always arrives before validation. Those who wait for approval before dreaming will never lead change. Every innovation, every movement, every transformation was once dismissed as unrealistic until it became undeniable. Dreams have a way of offending the present while announcing the future. It is important to understand that dreaming does not remove struggle. It gives meaning to it. When a person has no vision, pain feels pointless and delay feels unbearable. But when a dream is present, hardship becomes part of the process. Sacrifice gains purpose. Waiting gains value. Every challenge becomes a tool shaping the person required to sustain the achievement that is coming. Dreams prepare you for what they promise. They stretch your patience, strengthen your discipline, and refine your character. Many abandon their dreams because they misinterpret delay as denial. But every great achievement requires a season of invisibility. Roots grow before fruits appear. In that hidden season, the dream is not dying. It is developing depth. Character is being formed. Skills are being sharpened. Wisdom is being acquired. What appears to be stillness is often preparation. Those who rush visibility without foundation eventually collapse under the weight of success. Dreams also demand belief beyond evidence. At the beginning, there is often nothing external to confirm that the dream will succeed. That is why dreaming is an act of faith. You choose to commit to a future you cannot yet prove. You keep showing up, working, learning, and growing, even when results are small. This persistence is what separates dreamers from achievers. Many can imagine, but few are willing to endure the process. Every achievement you desire already exists as a possibility waiting for your agreement. The dream is the invitation. When you accept it, you step into a journey that transforms both your future and your identity. Great achievements are not accidents. They are the result of people who honored their dreams enough to pursue them relentlessly. What you are willing to see inwardly and believe consistently will eventually demand expression outwardly. Big dreams are powerful, but they are also fragile if they are not sustained correctly. Many people receive a vision for a greater future, but only a few have the inner strength to carry it to completion. This is where faith, vision, and discipline become essential. A dream without faith quickly collapses under pressure, because the journey toward fulfillment is filled with uncertainty, delay, and moments where nothing seems to make sense. Faith is the inner conviction that keeps you moving when evidence is absent. It is the ability to stay committed to a future you cannot yet see, trusting that progress is taking place even when it feels invisible. Vision gives your dream clarity and direction. Without vision, enthusiasm fades and effort becomes scattered. Vision is the ability to see beyond the present and make decisions today that align with tomorrow. It helps you prioritize what matters and eliminate distractions that compete for your attention. Many dreams fail not because they are too big, but because the person pursuing them lacks focus. Vision keeps you anchored. It reminds you why you started when the process becomes difficult and when shortcuts begin to look attractive. When vision is clear, compromise becomes less tempting. Discipline is the bridge between dreaming and becoming. It is the daily commitment to do what is necessary, not what is convenient. Dreams do not respond to excitement alone. They respond to consistency. Discipline trains your mind and body to obey your vision rather than your emotions. There will be days when motivation is low, when progress feels slow, and when rest feels more appealing than effort. Discipline is what keeps you moving forward in those moments. It is the quiet power that transforms intention into results. Faith, vision, and discipline work together. Faith fuels vision. Vision directs discipline, and discipline proves faith. Remove any one of these, and the dream begins to weaken. Faith without discipline becomes passive waiting. Discipline without vision becomes exhausting labor. Vision without faith becomes anxiety about the future. But when these three are aligned, the dream becomes resilient. It can withstand delay, opposition, and disappointment without losing momentum. Protecting your dream also means guarding your inner life. What you think, listen to, and meditate on will either strengthen or weaken your resolve. Doubt often enters through unchecked thoughts and negative influences. You must be intentional about feeding your mind with truth, growth, and possibility. Dreams require an environment of belief to survive. This does not mean ignoring reality, but it means choosing not to allow negativity to dominate your perspective. There will be seasons when your dream feels heavy. Responsibility increases as vision expands. The bigger the dream, the greater the demand on your character. Success without preparation can destroy what took years to build. This is why discipline is not punishment. It is protection. It prepares you to carry what you are believing for without collapsing under its weight. Sustaining big dreams is not about intensity for a moment, but endurance over time. Those who fulfill great visions are not always the most gifted, but they are the most faithful to the process. When faith anchors your heart, vision guides your steps, and discipline shapes your habits, your dream becomes more than an idea. It becomes a destiny in motion, steadily moving toward fulfillment. Every big dream demands a price, and that price is persistence and obedience. Many people admire outcomes but underestimate the journey required to reach them. Dreams do not collapse because they are impossible. They fade because consistency is abandoned and direction is ignored. Persistence is the decision to continue even when enthusiasm fades, results delay, and opposition increases. It is the quiet determination that refuses to quit simply because the process is uncomfortable. There will be seasons when progress feels invisible, effort seems wasted, prayers appear unanswered, and momentum feels slow. These moments test the authenticity of your dream. If your commitment is only sustained by quick results, the dream will not survive. Persistence is not stubbornness. It is alignment with a vision that is bigger than temporary discomfort. It is understanding that growth is often hidden before it becomes visible. What looks like delay is often development. Obedience gives persistence direction. Without obedience, persistence can turn into wasted effort. Obedience is the willingness to follow the instructions that the dream demands, even when they do not make sense. It requires humility, patience, and trust. Many dreams fail because people try to force outcomes instead of following process. They rush steps, ignore counsel, and bypass preparation. But destiny cannot be rushed without consequences. Obedience protects you from shortcuts that promise speed but sabotage sustainability. One of the greatest challenges of obedience is that it often requires action without full understanding. You may not always see how a step connects to the bigger picture. You may not immediately see results from doing the right thing, but obedience builds structure into your journey. It aligns your actions with timing. What is done out of order can delay fulfillment. What is done in alignment accelerates growth. Persistence and obedience also shape character. Big dreams require more than skill. They require maturity. The person you must become is just as important as what you are trying to achieve. Persistence develops resilience. Obedience develops humility. Together, they prepare you to handle success responsibly. Many people desire visibility, influence, and impact. But without character, those things become dangerous. Dreams that mature too quickly can collapse under their own weight. There will be moments when quitting feels justified. Fatigue sets in. Comparison creates discouragement. Progress in others makes your own journey feel insignificant. These are critical moments where persistence must speak louder than emotion. Persistence does not deny how you feel. It simply refuses to allow feelings to dictate decisions. Obedience in these moments often means continuing to show up, continuing to prepare, and continuing to serve even when recognition is absent. Fulfilled dreams are rarely dramatic in their arrival. They are the result of accumulated obedience and sustained persistence over time. One faithful step after another eventually creates momentum. Small acts done consistently become great achievements. What looks like sudden success to others is often the reward of long seasons of hidden faithfulness. Your dream will not respond to wishing or waiting alone. It responds to alignment. When you persist through difficulty and obey through uncertainty, you create the conditions for fulfillment. Destiny is not impressed by intention. It responds to obedience. And persistence ensures that when the moment of fulfillment arrives, you are still standing, ready to receive what you refuse to abandon.